A killer lived in their attic, then 6 were butchered below. Welcome to Hinterkaifeck, a lonely farm cloaked by Bavarian forest and March snow in 1922. The homestead sat a half-mile from its nearest neighbor, reachable only by a muddy cart track. Inside lived 63-year-old Andreas Gruber, his wife Cecilia, their widowed daughter Victoria, her 7-year-old Cecilia, 2-year-old Joseph, and a brand-new maid named Maria. Andreas was stubborn, mistrustful, and known to feud with neighbors, yet he voiced a chilling concern 1 week before the massacre. He showed a friend footprints in fresh snow that marched directly toward his front door, but never marched away. That same day, he discovered his door key missing. Night after night, heavy steps thudded overhead, even though the attic hatch was bolted from below. No intruder ever appeared. The previous maid had already quit, insisting the place was cursed. March 31st arrived, a moonless Friday. Victoria left choir practice early, guiding young Cecilia through the dark stable yard while lanterns fluttered in wind gusts. Whatever happened next, it was swift, silent, and savage. By Sunday, no smoke rose from the chimney. On Monday, mail piled at the gate. Tuesday evening, farmer Lorenz Schlittenbauer mustered 2 neighbors and crossed the empty field. Breaking into the barn, they gagged on the stench of blood and hay. Beneath the straw, 4 bodies lay stacked: Andreas, his wife, Victoria, and little Cecilia, each skull split by multiple blows from a mattock. Inside the house, Joseph lay lifeless in his cot, and Maria on her mattress, battered by the same blunt blade. Forensic doctors reported a nightmare detail. 7-year-old Cecilia survived her first strike long enough to rip handfuls of hair from her head before dying. Strands were still clenched in her fists. Blood patterns proved each adult was lured to the barn one by one, likely by noises or a whispered call. The killer struck from behind, dragged each victim to the straw pile, and returned for the next. Yet someone stayed afterward. Animals were fed, cows milked, and the dog released from its chain. Neighbors even saw chimney smoke on April 1st, meaning the murderer warmed himself while 6 victims lay cooling feet away. Police found butchered meat on the kitchen table and bedsheets freshly turned, evidence of calm domestic routine carried out by an unseen guest. Investigators canvassed Bavaria for suspects. Lorenz, the neighbor who discovered the bodies, became prime target number 1. He knew the farm intimately and once claimed paternity of baby Joseph after a brief relationship with Victoria. He also carried a master key that could open the Gruber doors, but his fingerprints matched none on the murder weapon, and dozens swore he was home the night of March 31st. Authorities next chased reports of vagrants spotted near the forest, yet no drifter owned boots matching the attic footprints. Rumors spread of incest within the farmhouse. Villagers whispered that Andreas controlled Victoria and fathered Joseph as both grandfather and parent. Anger over that secret, some argued, may have driven a relative or spurned lover to slaughter. Exhumations years later yielded degraded tissue. DNA comparisons proved impossible. The attic-lurker theory grew louder. Missing keys, phantom steps, and unchanged snow suggested someone climbed the external loft ladder, slipped inside, and observed the family through gaps in the floorboards. Police scoured rafters, finding only dust and cobweb-thick silence, yet builders later revealed narrow crawl spaces between the roof and hayloft, tight enough for a patient killer to hide days or weeks. To secure evidence, authorities dismantled the entire farm in 1923. A rust-stained mattock blade, believed to be the weapon, surfaced during demolition, wedged in the hayloft under a loose plank as if hidden for retrieval. Despite the find, fingerprints were unusable, and blood traces had spoiled. In 1955, the case file closed without a name. 3 decades later, detectives reopened it using modern profiling. Once again, nothing linked any suspect to every clue. Today, hikers visiting the cleared plot find only a stone cross and a plaque listing 6 names. On windy nights, locals swear creaking boards echo overhead, even though no attic remains. Some claim a small girl's sobs drift across the field, mingling with the rustle of pine needles. Could an obsessed neighbor commit the perfect rural crime? Did a traveling psychopath ride the rails, squat in a loft, and vanish into history? Or did dark family secrets spiral into murder from within? The Hinterkaifeck file stands as one of Europe's most disturbing unsolved massacres, a blend of home invasion horror and century-old cold case. Think you can crack the attic mystery? Drop your theory in the comments, share this story with fellow night owls, and subscribe for fresh true crime chills every week. Listen closely tonight. Unwanted footsteps might already be pacing above your ceiling.